My name's James. I cannot see you, so I don't know when I should be saying what I need to say. Hey guys, my name's James.
My name's Corwin.
And welcome
My
to
name's...
Oh, wait.
Do it.
No, my name's Chelsea, and I'm a special guest star today.
And welcome to This Movie's Gay.
Special edition.
You've already heard her voice. We have Chelsea in the mix today.
Chelsea. The wonderful, amazing Old Hickory Ham Chelsea. That's what her name in my phone is. So
explain.
I think she got a new number, or I got a new number, or something like that. And her first text to me was, "Hey, it's Old Hickory Ham." I was like, all right, well, that's your name now. That's your name. It's your name forever. Old Hickory Ham. So that's the explanation, James.
Okay, I like that. Yeah,
I'm glad. So James, you mentioned while I was trying to get my life back together, that you had a couple of things this week. So only had a couple of things this week. So what are those things?
Well, first, Chelsea, let us know a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Oh my gosh, you guys are putting me on the spot right now.
Let us know whatever you want us to know about yourself.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So Corbin and I have been friends for 10 years. We met each other in college. And I decided to pop in on this podcast today because one, Corwin asked me, and then two, I love the movie we're going to talk about today. I took notes. That's how serious I am. Yeah. No, but I'm also a lawyer, so that's why.
Whoa.
My lawyer friend.
Yes. No, so that's why I feel really nerdy, and I just had to take notes because you take notes when you're a lawyer. So, yeah.
Are you a music lawyer? Because I got some questions if you are.
No. So right now I'm just a new litigator because I just got I just found out I passed the bar.
Hell yeah.
Last month or whatever. So yeah. So right now I'm just a big general attorney litigator, but don't ask me too many questions because it's an ethical thing. And also putting it out there right now, any and all comments by me should not be taken as legal advice. Big disclaimer.
Any and all.
Any and all.
This is actually good because in the notes, I do have a legal question, but we'll get into that later. So this is perfect. I was expecting the chat to have to Google my question, but this is good. So Corwin alluded to it. I have two things to talk about that's been going on in my week. One loops into the movie, but first, guys, I don't know why I haven't tried this before, but I was like, I know why I wasn't drinking coffee, because I'm doing these cold brew videos, and that takes up my cold brew pitcher that I cold brew in. So I've been drinking Diet Pepsi, but I still have coffee creamer. So I was like, well, it's like coffee.
No.
Hold on, Corwin.
No.
Corwin, coffee creamer in a cola.
No.
Corwin, do you like a Coke float?
I know that's what that does, but no.
Exactly like a Coke float. My mind was fucking blown. I've been drinking it twice daily now and having a good ass time. Guys, if you want a Coke float but minus the calories with ice cream, or maybe, hey, you're a household that doesn't always have ice cream.
Half and half
house.
Still has calories, James.
No, but compared to ice cream. Like if you're putting a whole scoop of ice cream in there, or maybe you have sensitive teeth like Nicole. Ooh, it's too cold on my little pearly whites. Throw in some Pepsi, throw in a little bit of coffee creamer. Fucking mind blown.
Okay. Well,
and Corwin, I told Nicole, I said, Corwin will say one of two things. This one of two things will be his response. One, James, that's fucking disgusting. Exactly. No. Or two, obviously, James, I've been doing that for years. And then I'd be made the fucking fool.
No, I haven't been doing that for years because when I want to cook float, I put ice cream in because calories, fake. Just eat the calories. Eat it.
Calories are fake news, guys.
Fake news.
I thought I was gaining weight, but I measured myself because I normally do that because, body dysmorphia and such. I'm lower. Like I'm like 33 and a half around my belly button area. I measure from my belly button. Love handles. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, so I said to Nicole, I was like, I can eat like an asshole again.
You can eat like an asshole still.
No.
It's COVID times.
No.
Eat like an asshole. Treat yourself.
I'm terrified of gaining weight. You know that.
I know.
I have dreams about it. Stress dreams. But speaking of Nicole, we do a podcast called Engage with Nicolas Cage, and the recurring joke on that is, hey, are we engaged, Nicole and I? Find out at the end of this series. Nick Cage has like 87 movies. It will be in years.
Jesus Christ.
But I told Nicole, I was like, Nicole, let's get married and only talk about it on the Patreon podcast. So our family will never learn about it. Our close friends will never learn about it. Just a select few people will know, hey, they are married, and that you can only talk about it on the Patreon if you're a fan of ours. You can't talk about it on social media, whatever.
I mean, this isn't a Patreon show, so I think you're showing your hand.
Yeah, but if we do this in a year from now, it's fine.
Oh, you're saying you're talking about it now, but one day just secretly get married and only talk about it on the Patreon shows.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
I'm not talking about it on Talking About Beyblade. That's Beyblade talk. Not
I was like, the
weddings.
Patreon shows that you're not allowing any of your co-hosts on.
Yeah. Oh, did I finally talk about Nicole finally got on the show?
Yeah, I know. I knew that it was happening, but I don't think you talked about her actually being on the show.
Yeah, she just played, it was How the Brick Stole Rip Miss, and she's just playing a Grinch character who hates Beyblade.
Yeah.
So it fit in.
I saw the Facebook post, I guess.
Probably. What character would you play, Corwin?
I don't know, James. What character would I play?
Anything, truly. There was a bee who wanted to murder me in an episode.
That sounds like me.
Freddy Krueger was in an episode.
Chelsea, what character do you think I would play?
The bee.
The bee. Obviously, the bee. If you made up a character that I would play, what character would that be?
Ooh, okay. This is a good one. Okay, so obviously the character would have a crown.
I'm wearing one now.
Oh,
Neither of you know. I'm wearing one now.
Trying to think. Oh my goodness. I'm literally gonna make something up. It's a hummingbird with a crown and glasses and a beard and just going through, and it's magical. It has a little fairy wand, and you think it's going to grant a wish, but you just go ahead and hit people on the head with it and say, boop, do better.
Do better. I literally have a wand with me. I got a wand. I literally you said a wand and I picked it up. And so my friends and I did on Twitch we did a Secret Santa, and the person that had me for Secret Santa got me a Baby Yoda and a little wand. And the first thing I did when I got the wand was, I can use it on the stream. I can just be like, whoop, you banned, and then bop the camera with the wand. And you nailed it. You nailed my energy.
Corwin, have you ever had to ban someone?
Oh, I've banned people, yeah.
Oh, dang.
I use the LGBT tag on here, and there tends to be some right-wing people that come in occasionally. Or someone asked me something about something that was along those lines of murder gay people, things like that. And I was just like, you banned. It wasn't that intense, but it was that line of thought, that line of process. And it's why should gay people have rights? I think is what it was. Something like that. And I was just like, I'm not engaging in this today. Goodbye. And just ban them. That's what I've done. Love you so much, Ian Watson. Oh my God.
I would have first done a 60-second ad so you get money from that person, then banned them.
Well, they would have had to watch a 60-second ad because they weren't subscribed to me. So they would have had to watch an ad or 30-second, I guess, to look at the channel anyway.
No, yeah, but then you get them another one. That's why
just hit ad time. No, I don't want everyone else to watch ads.
No, but let's say you ever get maybe I've said this either on a stream or on this show. This goes for any streamer. If people start like bombing you and start like saying mean things, like a trove of people, clearly this is like an orchestrated things douchebags are doing. Just run a 60-second ad. If they're still there, say, I'm going to run another one, and just get all that sweet fragments of pennies.
Well, I mean, most of the time I do have someone in the chat that's modded, and most of the time they're just like banned. So,
oh man,
it's fine. I don't have to deal with that much. I honestly get a lot less trolls than some people, which is great.
I think, hey, Jordan, if you're in the chat right now, Chaos Witch, I'm going to make you a mod for our channel. You're always in there. Why? I mean, unless you don't want that responsibility.
Do you have any mods in your channel?
Maybe you're one. Maybe Corey's one.
No, I'm not a mod in your channel.
Okay, then no, I don't.
You have to like actually set that. You have to like you could type it. You can do /mod and it mods someone. But
I think I have at least one. And I was like, I don't know how that happened. I think it was when I was trying to set up hosting because it's in the like same area that I also modded someone.
So you just modded someone you were trying to host?
It might not be it might not be a random person. It could be that.
So I have you on mine as a mod. You were also an editor, but then I changed it to make the bot the only editor because you can do commands and edit everything with the bot. So
I'm gonna just start pinning comments. I don't know what mods do.
You can't. You can't do that.
I don't know.
You could ban someone.
Hell yeah.
You'd have to be here and like see someone that's bannable though. Don't
Mostly
just
speaking, Sentai, you're getting banned.
You're like, I'm banning myself.
Yeah.
Chaos Switch said I wouldn't know what to do, and I also couldn't because I'm working / usually at work. That's okay.
Chaos Witch, you're always every single stream. You're there. That's why I said
Don't
you.
bully people into modding for you.
Chaos Witch, you're gonna be a mod, whether you like it or not.
Oh my God, James. Okay, did you have another thing to say?
No, those were my two things.
The two things were the half and half in Coke, and then.
Oh, I guess like I found out like because normally I don't wear like
Beyblade thing.
Not a hat. So I was like,
yeah, I was like, I put on a tiara because I was going to be like, well, I normally wear it for my game streams anyway. But I was like, James wears a hat, I wear a tiara, it's fine.
Well, I noticed I had,
and then you didn't put the hat on today, so I couldn't say that. Love this podcast. We love you, Chaos Witch.
I noticed I had dandruff for the first time, and I was like, I guess I need to stop shampooing with Axe body wash.
James.
I'm poor.
James.
I can't afford I was using shampoo before I got this Axe body wash as also soap because it was like 59 cents on clearance at Mariano's.
James.
Hey, that's being frugal has allowed me to not have like an in quotes job where I answer to other people for 2 years now.
James.
But ding.
It's not good. It's not good for you.
Well, I mean, I'm fine, minus the thing on my leg that still won't heal, but I'm fine.
And the dandruff.
Well, the dandruff is cosmetic. I guess so is the thing on my leg.
Jesus Christ, James. Let's move on to happier thoughts. This week's movie suggested... So I reached out to Chelsea and was like, hello, do you want to be a guest? And Chelsea was like, of course. So I was like, Chelsea, what do you have any movies specific in mind? Or do you have like a genre you want me to find? Like, what do you want? And Chelsea was like, find me a movie and make it funny. So I was like, okay. So I gave her a list of a bunch of movies that we haven't done. And she was like, oh my God, Booksmart! And that's how we arrived to that. So we're watching Booksmart this week, or we watched it this week. James, I hope you watched it.
Corwin, I thought you said Detroit Rock City.
You know I didn't say Detroit Rock City.
I mean, I only put a few notes in because I was like, I don't understand why we're doing Detroit Rock City. Can I list off my notes at least so it's not for naught?
No, you're not allowed. How dare you?
Hawk is a cool name. If we were in a band, they have Hawk, Trip, Jam, and Lex. What would your band name be, guys?
Is that even a gay movie? I don't know anything about Detroit Rock City.
That's what I was wondering. I was
also,
like,
Nicola, hello. Wow, would you look at that? I finally made it to a podcast. It truly is New Year, New Me. But oh, how we going? We're going good. Except James is doing bits.
You ever drug a priest? I guess that is a question I could ask. I was pulling at straws. I know this would be inappropriate to ask like a first-time guest, first-time meeting someone. Like, all right, I guess I'm asking the chat, where'd you lose your V card? Because they lose it in a confessional booth.
James, you did not watch that movie.
What's this last
Chelsea.
one? Okay, well, I got
Let's
one.
do what we do for every...
Okay, I need to get this one out because I made my
What's your last bit?
There's a disco song where it goes, I'm solid gold, I got the goods. If they're that, I guess my song would be I'm a pile of shit and I got a UTI.
James, why are you so sad today? Oof. Anyway, back to topic. Chelsea, Booksmart. How'd you come to why Booksmart?
Okay.
Let's start off with that.
Booksmart. When you gave me the list of movies, I was like, okay, there was like one movie that was Heart Beats Loud. Love that one. But it has like Nick Offerman as a father, and it's a really cute father-daughter movie. And I was like, not in the mood for that.
No.
Too much trauma in the past. So we're not going to do that. But yes. So I was like, Booksmart, this is great. Because when this movie came out initially about 2 years ago, I was joking with my sister because we saw the trailer and she's just kind of like, whatever, I don't want to see that. And my sister was a senior in high school at the time. And she's super smart, like top of her class or whatever. And she got into a really good school. And I asked her like, oh, Jennifer, do you not want to see this movie because it hits a little too close to home for you? Are you the nerds in this movie that didn't party enough in school and just studied? And yep, she was like silent.
Silent.
Yes. But yeah, no, I love this movie so much. So I'm so glad we get to talk about it today.
Amazing. So what we normally do with guests, and you've listened to the podcast before, and I know you have because you've texted me while listening, we normally get them to do a quick synopsis of the movie. So are you ready for this quick synopsis?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
tell us this movie.
Synopsis or summary? Which one?
Well, I like that you're the first person to ask that question.
I like to say like I want it like 5 sentences, but normally people just give the entire rundown, like scene by scene.
I prefer a synopsis.
So, scene by scene or...
No, do the synopsis.
Broad and shallow. Okay, here we go. We have, our protagonists are Molly and Amy. They are 2 best friends, and it's their last day of high school. And they have come to the realization that they have spent all of their time studying and being overachievers and basically being like little narcs or dicks to their classmates over the years. And they feel like they're so smart. Well, in particular, Molly does. And so Molly just goes up to one of the cool popular kids. One of them's called AAA because she provides roadside assistance to some guys. And she's like, oh yeah, while you were studying AP hand jobs, I got into Yale. And the girl, AAA, was like, yeah, I did that. And also, I got into Yale. And I'm going to pretend like I don't know you when we go to school next semester. And it all spirals because Molly's freaking out because she learns that everybody else in her class who she felt better than because she studied instead of going to a party, she learns that they've all gotten into top schools, or this one random kid's going to go work for Google. And I would like to note here that Billy Lord was character Gigi. She said, oh, I got into Harvard. It was my 5th choice. And I just want to say Harvard has an excellent reputation, and I'm pretty sure it's a great educational institution. But they gave Ted Cruz a law degree, and that gave him so much power. And I feel like it is so irresponsible. So thank you, Harvard, for giving us Ted Cruz.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that is what I thought about in that very moment. So fast forward, Molly and Amy are freaking out, and they're like, we're going to go to our very first high school party tonight so we can say that we attended a party during our high school career because graduation is the next day. So there's a bunch of hijinks throughout the night while they're trying to make it to the party of the year. Nick, he's like the vice president. Molly secretly has a crush on him, but she's doing the whole like, I like you, but also I want to be mean to you just because I can. So she's doing that sort of act. So yeah, bunch of hijinks lead up to the party. Party goes well, and then bad, and then very bad. And then Amy gets arrested. Molly bails her out, and they drive crazily to their graduation, and then the end of the movie. Very broad and shallow. Yeah.
Very broad and shallow.
Yes.
Yeah. So Booksmart, that's quite a movie.
Yes.
I also want to point out that it's a movie that has a lot of my roommates referred to it as a legacy movie because it's got a lot of the actors and actresses in it are familial relations to other famous people. Molly, that main person, is Jonah Hill's sister, apparently. I didn't look it up. But that's Jonah Hill's sister. And then Amy is the daughter of the voice of Barney, the dinosaur. And then we've got Carrie Fisher's daughter. There's a lot of people, like the bad girl that made out with Amy is like the daughter of someone that made a couple of movies. Like they're all like legacy people. So that's a fun thing for this movie. Just to know.
Good for them.
Good for them, you know?
Yeah. Getting jobs,
Yeah.
you know. Good.
So James, after you watch Detroit Rock City and then watch Booksmart, what are your Booksmart notes?
Well, guess what? I've seen this movie multiple times now.
Yeah, it's a movie. I figured this was a movie that everyone would have seen or has possibly seen because it was a big movie. It did have like, you know, a lot of ads, and it's not one of those indie films that we watched. Very easy access to get the movie. Mm-hmm. Watch it on Hulu, wherever. So I figured a lot of people have seen it. So, you know, another big movie we've done.
More people than Dynastud, though.
More people than Dynastud. Way more people than Dynastud.
So my first note, man, there's such a nice, it's a simple trick, but this dude high ollies off from a 3-stair, like right when they get to school. And I was like, whoo, man, I got to watch some skate videos after this.
Of course, that would be the one thing that you focus on.
So they're friends with their maybe theater or English teacher. I'm not sure. English.
Yeah.
Did you guys have teacher friends in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was like kind of friendly with my junior year English teacher, and now we're just like Facebook friends and don't interact, but you know, there.
I had my English teacher, Mrs. Ritzema, I say names on podcasts. She went to, I had her multiple years. She went to my open house. She's super cool. And Mr. Hankinson, who taught me modern mythology, which was just a semester where you read all the Lord of the Rings books. And both of them I asked in high school, and I also followed up with them. I would visit them after I graduated, but both of them I was like, I'm thinking about getting a vasectomy. Your thoughts? Because I know, because I believe I knew, or I had talked about it, and they were like, wait, you're in high school. Why are you thinking about this? And then they would come to me and say well, when Mr. Hankinson said, well, when I had 2 kids and I wanted a vasectomy, and they were very stern on well, what if one kid dies and you want more? What if one of 2 of your kids die? And he was like, I have another one. I'll be fine. That's just mean to the other child. What the fuck are you talking about? And so he was like, it's going to be hard for you. And in Muskegon, it was. I could not get one unless he said I would have needed to go to therapy because I'm terrified of having children. And I knew I would probably kill myself if I wouldn't have been able to get up to the job. So he said, well, go to therapy. And if a therapist says they recommend you get a vasectomy, go for it. But in Chicago, I was like, oh, I finally have insurance. I'll be able to have insurance pay for some of it. And I was ready to roll. I was like, oh, I have all my points. I said 1 point, and the guy was like, all right, yeah, I'll schedule you in. I was like, oh, okay. Chicago is so much better. Hell yeah.
They're like, what if you have so many children and then lose all of the children and you want more children? If they lose all the children, what's going on? What's happening?
I don't
understand. Yeah, why are you too sad?
You can't just replace a child. I know Hamilton did and named his child Hamilton. Or wait, what was the kid? Philip. They named there was a second Philip in his family after Philip died.
Wow. Wow.
I think that's fucked up. That's just mean.
I don't remember how you got on the vasectomy talk.
Oh, teacher friends.
Oh, teacher friends. Jesus Christ, that went far. I was just like, where are we? Where's Booksmart? Where'd that go? Yeah, I had a couple of, the theater teacher at my high school, I was in all the shows, and she is active in the theater community in Memphis. So yeah, we were friends, teacher friends. She's a great actress. She also came to see one of my big shows that I did in college. So,
ooh, what show was that?
It was called Psychosis 448.
Ooh, scary, probably.
My grandma and grandpa came and saw it, and they were like, we're gonna pray for you. And I was like, oh.
I think you've told me you told me that story. Yeah, just that little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite memories. They were like, how do you do that every night? And I was like, well, I'm an actor. And they were like, we're going to pray for you. Okay. I appreciate it. The show was called Psychosis 448. So yeah, teacher friends. That's fun. Miss Fine was fun. When I first watched the movie, I was like, what the hell is this? This is a little strange to me, especially Miss Fine and that Theo. The guy went to go be a Google coder and all of that, but he also was like, I'm 20 years old and graduated, so I guess still a little weird, but absolutely loved Jessica Williams. So we're just gonna enjoy that she was in the movie.
Also, do high schoolers have full body tattoos?
No.
Yeah, no, she had tattoos all on her torso. And I was confused because I'm like, high schoolers don't have full body tattoos like that.
I'm just going to assume that they didn't have good parents or whatever, or had parents that were like, yeah, I'll sign for my child to have a full body tattoo.
Yeah, I was going to correct you.
There's nothing wrong with having tattoos.
Yeah.
I was just going to say they have great parents if they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Cool parents.
Well, I would say that you should probably be a little older than that to get tattoos, just because when you're aging, you're growing a bit. So I don't know. I got a tattoo when I was 18, so I can't say much.
Wait, you have a tattoo? We talked about this a few weeks ago, I feel like.
Oh my God. James, you always forget everything about me. Yes, I have a tattoo on my leg. And I want more.
Corwin, name something you've told me. I know
Did
everything.
I have a tattoo?
I don't think we talked about that. What else?
I told you how to mod people.
Oh, I was hoping you would say you lived in Hawaii, and I'd be like, you lived in Hawaii? Because that's a
Why are
recurring
you calling
joke.
it Hawaii? That is one of those that you forget all the time. I told the story on Amanda and Warren's podcast, and you were like, what?
Oh, because you had never told me up until then.
Oh, I had.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I have.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure I told you at work
maybe.
when we worked together.
No.
Yeah.
We just talked about, like, films and pop culture.
That you know nothing about.
Yeah. One of the funniest things is when I was talking about Dragon Ball and I said Corrin, and then 5 rows up, late at night, I see Corwin pop his head up and he points at himself, and I was like, no, I'm talking about a cat from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, there's a lot because people would do that all the time at that job. They'd be like, Corwin, and I'd be like, what? I'm busy. Stand up looking over all the cubicles. Like, what the fuck? What you want?
Did you see that?
Slack me.
I watched Mr. Boogedy. It's a Disney movie, and there's someone named Corwin in the movie.
Yeah, you said that. You said that to me. You DM'd me.
You never
respond.
respond. Yeah, that's why.
I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, cool.
Say that's cool. Yes, say that's, or even give me a heart on the even that's a response that
I read it and I was like, yeah. I was busy.
One of my notes, and I've said this on this podcast before, I believe, but movies that just so ingrain, like, you need to go to college, I don't like that messaging. And especially Ivy League schools. Fuck Ivy League schools. I think, like, they're historically racist, they're historically sexist, they promote classism and capitalism because they're like, oh, you need to have a shit ton of money in order to be there. If they were like, hey, it's affordable for all, but we're only going to take the cream of the crop, it would be like if Professor X, Xavier, was like, all right, I'm going to take this mutant and I'll give me your mutants. However, this is a huge mansion. You're going to have to pay room and board, parents of these mutants. And then the mutants are like, well, I'm actually a foster kid because my parents, they didn't want me. Look at me. I'm a metal man. And then he's going to be like, shit out of luck, dude. You're going to have to deal with that on your own.
Yeah. Oh, if society.
I don't like it.
Professor X, I guess.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. A lot of it is classist and stuff like that. But that's one of the things that I thought was funny with this movie is because they're usually like, they flip that trope in a way because, you know, you had Molly and they're like, oh, she's so smart. She's going to a good school, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes and finds the troublemakers that are graffitiing and all that. And is like, oh, well, I'm going to end up in a good place and y'all aren't. And then they're immediately like, well, actually, I'm going directly to code for Google and making 6 figures. And then, oh, also, I'm going to Yale as well. And I don't remember where the other guy is going, but it was somewhere fancy. That just sort of points out how much stress we put on people to get a good education or to go to like one of those fancy, well-known schools, and how stressful that is when it doesn't really need to be.
Yeah.
But also, like, the thing I liked about that is that Molly had this mightier than thou kind of outlook and sort of pushing into like that incel behavior that we see a lot in internet culture. And
was not expecting that.
Said, get fucked. I mean, that's the path that takes. So don't assume that you're better than people is what I'm going to say. Just like, you know, just because someone doesn't live the exact same lifestyle as you doesn't mean that they're less than you or not as smart as you, not as good as you at whatever. Like, people are surprising and people are they live their lives how they want to live them, and you should live your life how you want to live it.
Chelsea, thoughts on Ivy League schools?
Ivy League schools. Okay. So I think of like higher education as just nothing but like gatekeeping. And so I am all for burning down the whole institution.
Yes.
And, you know, just kind of like dancing in the hellfire while like all these Supreme Court justices are crying because they're like, the education system and the things that like lifted me up are like now gone. And I'm like, good. Yeah.
Good. I mean, it would be completely different if we valued our education system, which we obviously don't, because there's no public infrastructure put into our public education system compared to when it was like started.
Yeah.
The fact that we spend way more on our military than we do on our education says a lot about our country as a whole.
Well, I ain't no commie bastard, dude.
And then you've got like gatekeeping stuff like Harvard, and it's like, well, everyone could have, you know, a great education that would rival what they say is an Ivy League education if we put a little more money into our public education. But that doesn't happen. So now you've got the problems that you've got today. You've got anti-vaxxers. You've got, as Chelsea pointed out, you've got senators and congressmen and women who went to Harvard and Yale and places like that who deny that vaccines work and deny diseases and all of these terrible things for money.
They also deny people basic human rights.
They deny people basic human rights, yeah. They think that $600 is enough for people to live for 12 months on, you know?
Even I can't do that. And I am, like I said, I am very frugal.
Yeah, we don't all wash our hair with Axe body wash.
That I was gifted.
That's what that you were gifted. You didn't even buy it. You were gifted it. Jesus.
Most of the like the deodorant, razors. I'm still using razors that I got in Michigan because they're Meyer razors. Holy shit. So yeah. If I can't live off from that much money, even when living in Muskegon, which has very low rent, like I've said it before, I was paying my bills every month were like $200. That's not gonna. And I was living with two other roommates. That should also be said. That's why it was so low. But it's so low. You can't live off from that. No one can.
Yeah. So there's a lot wrong with that, with our higher education system. So yeah, burn it all down. Get rid of it.
Burn it down.
So on this, them not discussing, they had a rule in this school that you're not allowed to discuss where you're going to college so people don't feel bad, in quotes. But just like not discussing salaries, all that does is only support the people who are benefiting from it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like, I can't think of a good reason why you would implement that policy.
Yeah.
Like, why does it matter? Because not everyone is going to try to go to Harvard. You know, there are trade schools,
which I promote,
and conservatories and things like that. Like, there's a lot more than Harvard. So yeah, that was a big point of the movie that I liked, because they were like, fuck you, in saying that, you know, the head of the class and all that didn't go to the parties, but was getting in the same schools as all the people that did. You know, it was a small little fuck you to that mindset. I also want to point out that my absolute favorite character, my favorite character was Gigi.
Absolutely.
And Jared. Gigi and Jared were my absolute favorite characters. I love them so much.
I love them
so much.
Yeah,
I would have been his friend.
I would have been best friends with him. Like,
I would have been right there with Gigi, threatening to stab the mailman for laughing at him. I would have been right there beside her.
I know. You would have handed her the knife to be like, here you go.
I would have handed her the knife. That is my energy.
It sort of is.
Jesus, they were so good. They were so good. We haven't even gotten into the lesbian scenes or anything like that. Just Gigi and Jared.
One of my favorite lines from her is she's like, "Oh, I know what you're going through. I lost my virginity in a cemetery, and ghost spirits are now living inside my eggs, waiting to be reborn." Because she thought it was a part.
I just love. I love that she like vanishes, like she jumped off the boat and then just like appeared at the next party before they got there. Which is, I mean, if you think about it, it's plausible because it took them a minute to get anywhere because they weren't friends with anybody. They looked down on everybody. Well, Molly did. Amy did not. We find out later whenever she was talking to Annabelle, Triple A.
Yeah.
When Molly was talking to her, she was like, Amy never called you that. So Amy was we could say Amy was probably a pretty good person through that. Amy just didn't want to do anything. She wanted to stay home.
Yeah, and, Amy's just a shy girl.
Yeah, she was the introvert.
Homebody.
She's a homebody.
Yeah, she's wanting to stay home. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's totally fine. Molly was kind of shitty,
Very.
Especially calling Malala and making her go to a party, and then not respecting that and respecting the Malala that they have established when Amy called it, because Amy, found out something bad and had some not bad, but found out something that was upsetting to her and would be upsetting to Molly and was trying to protect Molly, and Molly was not, listening and being a good friend.
I have a single Malala with Nicole, but I call it Pancake and Beer. Pancake and Booze, Nicole says. We went to this art convention thing. An art show that Nicole was tabling at. And normally Nicole does very well, but this show was just not her scene. And even though I love doing these with Nicole, I love helping her table. I like watching the table when she has to use the restroom or look around. Things like Zine Fest or mainly Zine Fest or Zine Fests. We've gone to a few of them. It was so bad that she left early. She was luckily able to, because it was 2 nights, she was able to get her money back for the second night. But she's like, I feel so bad that I put you through this. You can cash this in to do anything that I normally wouldn't be able to do. And I was going to do it to go to a Weird Al show. Nicole loves Weird Al as a person and an actor, hates him as a musician. But the tickets ended up selling out, so it's now I've had this for like 4 years and have not cashed it in.
So you have a Malala ready to go. Good. That's an interesting. I mean, they had a yearly thing. Mm-hmm. They were like, once a year you can call this and I'll be there. I mean, I don't really have a Malala, but I mean, most of the people that I'm friends with, Chelsea included, if I was like, hello, Chelsea would be like, yeah, let's burn it down. So
why does it have to be something to burn down?
James, you know me.
We gotta go in with like the pitchforks, they're on fire.
Yeah.
We have to go burn it down.
Chelsea's the friend that in college would show up at my door when I had an apartment off campus, would show up at my door and be like, hello, I want cake. And then I would feed them.
Would you have cake?
Yeah.
Or would you
I would
make
have
it?
Cake.
Okay.
I would have it in the freezer, left over from an event.
Yeah, no. And then one time I came in and he was like, oh yeah, the cake in the freezer is from an event. It's probably not good. And I was like, I don't care. And then I left and went back to my dorm and I'm eating it with our friends, Haley and Brandy. And I was like, this is not good. Corwin he was being honest. Truthful. I should have listened to him.
Should have listened. I could have made more cake. But yeah, every time we had like a theater event, they would bring a bunch of cake from Costco. And by theater event, I mean like the opening night for a show. And because I was heavily involved in the department, I would normally be there and I would probably be given the cake to take home. So that's what happened. And I would have cake in my freezer.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Chelsea's the kind of friend that you're like, hello. I don't even have to say Malala. I just say, let's burn it down. And then Chelsea's like, let's go. So I don't need the one a year. Just as the same, James, you probably could say, Corwin, I need this. And I'd be like, all right, I've got my pitchfork ready to go, James.
Oh, hell
Who
yeah.
are we fighting today? Another thing in the movie I forgot to mention, and I want to talk about it specifically. I just want it to be known that it was one of my favorite moments, was when they arrived at the final party. And Molly saw Nick and had that moment where she saw like the interpretive dance in her head. It was just so out of nowhere, and it made me laugh every single time I've seen this movie. I love it so much.
When we watched this the first time, the doll scene was something that Nicole was like, what is going on now?
Which one was the doll scene?
When they turn into dolls, when they get high.
Oh yeah, that one was weird.
Yes.
It was just so many weird scenes that you're like, what? That they broke into a guy's car and he ended up being a serial killer.
A serial strangler. We don't know if he's murdering people. He could just be choking them to unconsciousness.
If he's being hunted by the police, he's probably a killer.
No, you could choke 20 people for them to pass out, but don't kill them, and I'm pretty sure the police will be on the look for you.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if there were like 20 people that got choked out, they'd be able to say where the guy was or came from.
Ted Cruz has gotten away with being the Zodiac for this long. They weren't able to find him.
You got me there. And then we have the lesbian scene with Amy, and I don't know her name.
Hope, I think.
Hope. I guess.
Yes.
Probably. My roommate was like, this is real. Whenever that started, that whole like interaction between both of them with why are you so mean? And like, I don't like meek people. That whole scene, my roommate was like, approved. Yeah, that was our movie.
Oh, I have one thing I want to bring up about that scene. One thing I really liked that like made me so happy, but made me kind of like angry that it made me so happy, was when they were like making out and Hope senses some hesitation from Amy, and she's like, we can stop if you want to. And to me, that just like, my heart just fluttered. I'm like, oh, this is so sweet and so genuine. She's asking for affirmative consent. And that's why I got so angry, because it should be like that all the time. And it should not make me that happy. Yes, no, but I thought it was like, this is just so sweet and genuine. And then Amy threw up on her. But she forgave her because
Well, also adds to her being like very sweet and kind, of like clearly knowing like, hey, this person has never done that before. After being fingered in the butt and then not like, and then saying like, hey, let's take a step back, but we can still keep going. It's not like, oh, I'm pissed, you suck, I'm leaving. After the vomit, like that, you can't return from that. It's like, I need to bathe immediately unless that's your thing. Which it's not a lot of people's things. Yeah,
we like the affirmative consent. We like the movie. I think overall it did well. I mean, as always, I wish there were more people of color in this movie. And I've been specifically looking for movies that have predominantly people of color, and it's really hard to find movies like that.
I've also made it harder for me for some weird reason because of the people I want on. I'm like, let me find gay movies that are sci-fi with also people of color.
Those don't exist.
I think I've found like 2.
We'll do some.
Oh no! Hello.
Hello.
Hey, it did that same thing that it does all the time where it's like, see ya, you're no longer here.
I don't know why it does that.
I don't either.
Because you're talking.
Yeah.
It literally, I've never seen it do that to anyone else.
I'll have to it would be great if I could see this in a context where we're not live so I could screenshot it, then look it up later, but.
Oh, I can't do that here.
I can't.
Yeah, I just tried to look at things and I'm like, oh no, that shows up on stream. Yeah, overall, I think this was a good movie.
I still
recommend. Yes.
I have.
Go.
I'll quickly do this.
Quickly do your notes.
They had fake college IDs to get into the college library. However, if you hold on to your college ID if you live in a college town, because you can still get discounted like movie tickets. Sometimes at restaurants, they'll, hey, show a college ID. I kept mine and was still able to use it for movie tickets well after the card expired. I highly recommend that.
100%.
I found on TikTok, teens are like, I'm really into aesthetic, but all that means is 90s fashion, which I find very weird. Instead of saying retro, I guess retro means 70s and 80s to them, so they have to say aesthetic.
Why do you say it like that?
Because I can't say it properly. Okay. So I'd rather be ahead of making fun of the curve of making fun of me instead of just people making fun of me.
As long as that's what it is.
When they go to the theater kids party, one of them walks down the stairs and then the person who's hosting it says, "You're at a 10, I need you at a 2." And I wrote down, "That's all of my co-hosts ever," saying that to me specifically.
Oh, saying that to you? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's fair.
I've done a drug like ayahuasca, but it was AC coolant.
Jesus Christ.
When they were watching the porn in Jason Sudeikis's lift, and it like gets plugged in and it's heard over the speaker, Nicole in our bedroom could hear it and just goes, "Oh, that noise."
Is that Cardi B?
And then don't mouth microphones. They're a cesspool of just spittle. They're petri dishes for bacteria. Don't.
I mean, you assume that's not his personal microphone.
But other people have used it.
He probably brought it. He's dramatic.
I will look and compare people using microphones. All I'm saying is Gigi Allen, someone like that could have been using the microphone before you, and it's covered in blood, and it could have been a night where he put it up his derriere.
Okay.
Gigi Allen did that stuff. Don't look up his live stuff. Just listen to the few albums of his that are good. Forget everything else.
You heard it here. Forget everything else.
Yeah.
What are your other notes, James?
I think that was it, maybe. Let me just...
Chelsea, any other notes from you?
Oh my gosh, no, the murder mystery party that they went to. I just want to say, it is so funny that the theater kid had his whole family so terrified of him that they were just in the kitchen doing a puzzle. And he's like, no noise whatsoever. And they just went along with it. And his sister was pissed off, but she went along with either. I want to have that sort of power. I know no one will ever let me wield that, but it was amazing and so funny.
My brother's in the chat. My brother wouldn't care. I'd be like, no noise. And my brother would be like, let me make noise. Let me immediately make noise.
I had one more thing I forgot to start. I didn't know we'd have a lawyer here. Does international waters work as people say it does?
No legal advice.
Yeah, no, I have no clue because they don't teach us everything in law school. They teach us very little, actually. And for the bar exam, didn't have to learn this either. But international waters, that's where like a lot of like jurisdictional issues come up. And then, it is crazy. But yeah, like I said, no legal advice.
Okay.
I am no one to tell me.
You have to pay her a lot of money.
One last thing. Nothing is more exciting or daunting than the blank page. That was a quote from the movie.
That quote? Yeah. Jason Sudeikis. Jason's quote.
Yes, Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah. It's a hard name. I didn't take notes. I just had the few bits that I wanted to touch on, specifically the interpretive dancing, the lesbian scene, the porn in the car was hilarious.
Yeah.
And Gigi just being iconic throughout the whole movie. So funny. So great. Would stab someone. Same energy. But yeah, I overall recommend the movie. What about you, James?
Absolutely. I've seen it twice and I was glad to watch it a second time.
And Chelsea?
This was my third rewatch, and I love it, and I highly recommend it.
Next time we've got to get a movie that you haven't seen. But I'm glad that you were here for this one. Thank you for joining us this week, Chelsea. We appreciate it. You and your knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so nice to be here. And just, bring me back. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, we absolutely will. Thank you. And do you have anything to plug? Do you have anything you want to talk about?
Absolutely not, because I don't leave my house nowadays. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to plug is my theater company, Sawbucks Theater Collective. Give them a follow. They're still doing things. And follow us on the Twitter and the Instagram and all that stuff at This Movie's Gay, or me on all those things at Core Winning. Follow this Twitch channel if you're not following. That's Core Winning. I would really, really appreciate it. We just hit 300 followers recently, so that's exciting. I will celebrate that somehow. And yeah, those are my plugs.
Hey guys, if you're following those 300, how about you go follow Mostly Speaking Sentai on Twitch? But I got King Kaiser X, my Godzilla themed album. I said, screw it. I'm putting it on Spotify. That I think is January 22nd. I'll be doing like an all night stream to promote it the day before. Just try and get those streams up, baby. Please go over to patreon.com/MLM pod to listen to our Patreon exclusive podcast. However, over on the Mostly Speaking Sentai podcast feed, wherever podcasts are found, you can listen to, like we brought some episodes out of talking about Beyblade, Engage with Nicolas Cage, and the Toku Reading Corner. Those are in the free feed. You're able to listen to them. If you like it, then you'll be able to go over to patreon.com/MLM pod, sign up, and there's almost a year's worth of content there. Every single Friday, we put a new thing out. And if you're a $10 subscriber, you get a shout out in our podcast in the free feed. Also on Talking About Beyblade.
Are we going to shout them out? Are we going to shout them out right now?
We sure are. We have Steve F. Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour.
Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour.
Who recently got Twitch affiliate.
Trekkie B47. Yeah.
Alex Z, a.k.a. The Waz. Orion, a.k.a. Defo. Kayla, a.k.a. Two Grapes. Duo Grun Fox. That's two Fox for the price of Grun. I always want to say it the other way. Tyler Wright and Elliot W. at Garlic Sunshine on Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone that was here. I've been Corwin.
And I've been James.
And I've been Chelsea.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been a Marshland Media production, produced by James McCullum. For more content, please visit MLMpod.com. To support our network and have access to exclusive podcasts, head over to patreon.com/MLMpod and sign up today.